5 or 6 super god geniuses in charge of it all, the whole planet, just like DC Comics from 20 years ago predicted. This is happening. So the two big bazillionaires, geniuses, tech humans, tech giants, tech corporate titans of our world who were in the media in the last week for different reasons. But I want to kind of pull it together as this is getting, kind of crazy. That how many people on this planet? 6.5, 7, 8 billion people. I gave up count in 1988. But there's a lot of out there. Okay, a lot. But there seems to be only like 5 that really matter. And here's a couple of them. Elon Musk is one of them, and poor Elon there, due to his own I don't know what the he's doing up there with X, the artist formerly known as. No, I don't think so. The artist formerly known as Twitter. I guess he kind of at least half-assed got behind some anti-Semitic sort of, talking and chattering on his wonderful platform X, and
not his first time to that particular barbecue either.
Not at all. So a lot of advertisers, and by a lot I mean all of them, have decided to leave X. And there's a media group, an advertising media investigative group, forget their names, forgive me, that did an in-depth situation where they're like, hey, there's a lot of anti-Semitic, almost neo-Nazism, racist type conversation, commenting, rapport on this X app that is being A, allowed, but B, Elon Musk himself is going, it's okay. They're kind of telling the truth. Maybe not, but you know what? It's free speech up in this bitch. Anyway, they're all fucking leaving. I mean, every fucking massive conglomerate of advertising money. Great. And so he's pissed off, yo. He's like, and this, and he's suing them. Go ahead, Dev.
Perhaps he was a bit prescient in renaming Twitter to X, because now all of his advertisers are viewing Twitter as an X. So I think it actually worked out. Maybe he saw it coming before the rest of us did.
Maybe he should have named it Double Cross Ranch. Who
knows? Or Divorce.
Perfect. But at any rate, so he's pissed off because all this money's leaving X and whatever. He's a space alien that's been transplanted here. But what I thought was interesting about this story, because to me, it's low-hanging fruit, quite frankly, for us to go on One Day Closer to and say, Elon Musk, what a bad person. All you're doing is anti-Semitic shit and you own stuff. We know this. We know this, okay? He shouldn't be in charge of this fucking platform, yet he is because of money. What was interesting to me about this story, you go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jason, but I had to ask this at this moment. Do we have a Twitter?
We don't have a Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Because Twitter doesn't exist.
Well, we didn't have an Instagram until a couple minutes ago.
Oh, we'll get we don't even have a X, okay? They're not even a X. We have an Instagram out there. Find us on Instagram. I'll talk about X some other day. But the deal is this, okay? What I thought was interesting is in press conferences to whatever Graham Poobah was in charge of the speaking of the Biden administration and the government and whatnot, is people are like, does the government still stand behind Elon Musk, SpaceX's involvement in pretty much every space thing that we're fucking doing as the United States, a failed economy? Are you still behind this, even though he's ranting and raving, or at least giving support to the rantings and ravings of anti-Semitic diatribe? So here's the byline by the Biden administration is, people, we need, I think it's always been shown, and anyway, right, there was about 30 minutes of that before they got to, we need rich geniuses to do the shit we do, yo. I just did a 1 day Closer to Dead translation of how that went. Basically, we don't have a space program without Lex Luthor. Sorry. He can say that he's a Nazi. He wants to kill all the Jews. He thinks that Putin should rule the world. He's got a 12-inch and he likes to donkeys. We can't stop him because we need him, because we don't have a space program without Elon Musk. That's where that conversation went. So the low hanging fruit of this conversation is Elon Musk because he's supporting I don't give a shit. That's obvious. What's hysterical is that our government simply can no longer deny they're not in control of the commerce and technology of our big time programs here. And I haven't even got to Lex Luthor #2 that's been in the media. What do you think about this, Dave?
Well, I actually think, and when I say unintentionally, I mean unintentionally on my part, because this might have been something that was in your head, Jason, but it's something that hadn't popped into mind until this moment in this context, is this does tie into things that we have been talking about in the last few weeks in a slightly different way, as far as the United States having a very adversarial, yet at the same time mutually beneficial relationship economically with China. I would say it's very similar in the sense that they have a beneficial / problematic relationship with anybody who has a ton of money that they would like to dip into those coffers. And as far as Musk goes, I mean, I haven't followed his Twitter, X, whatever diatribes. I was aware that there was a controversy, but I haven't looked into, like, I don't have an opinion of what he said because I really don't know what it was. But I mean, look, from my understanding, the dude is legitimately perhaps like a brilliant rocket engineer, subject I know nothing about. Fair enough. Like, got nothing to say on that. But outside of that, to be fair, very important specialty. Other than that, the dude seems like a moron in every single way, shape, and form. And for this so-called free speech absolutist, as he called himself, one of the first things he did once he bought and took over Twitter is he started, putting all sorts of blocks and stuff on anyone that was criticizing him. It's the same thing that we have seen over and over again, the great hypocrisy that exists, whether it be from rich people, political people, anyone who has any type of power, regardless of how they derived that power, whether it be from financial or fame or combination of the two, whatever.
Science.
Is that it's always, what is for me is not for thee kind of thing. And, listen to what I say, not to what I do. And it's no different here. He'll just shoot his mouth off, which whatever. I mean, it's social media. That's kind of what people do, for better or worse. But when you have somebody with as low of an impulse control as this diarrhea mouth apparently has, and then you also give him the power of one of the world's largest social media platforms, at least it was, I mean, of course that's going to cause all kinds of PR, business, advertising, international relation nightmares across the board, especially when he or his companies have their fingers in so many different pies.